I have a bonus question.
All right.
So
bonus round.
Bonus round. So we did Uber Eats the other night. And we ordered from, it doesn't really matter where. We ordered somewhere. Very quick pickup. Like I feel like a lot of the times it's 45 minutes, an hour plus. This was like 20 minutes. So very quick, food was ready. Got it back pretty quick. Noticed when we opened the bag, only one entree was inside. We ordered 2 entrees, only 1 entree. Mm-hmm. I realize it's not the delivery driver's job to check like a closed bag. Right?
Yeah, they're not allowed.
It's not their job.
Right.
I mean, at least they could walk in and say, hey, is this the order that has this and this? Like there's 2 entrees in here. There's whatever. Cool. Thanks. Maybe he did that. Maybe they said yes. I don't know what happened. I knew that our order was wrong. I knew I had to go back into the Uber Eats app to try to figure out like what pops up on the screen for the next step of, do I talk to customer service? Do I whatever? So the option, which I don't remember this being the option before, the option is Uber Eats, the app, will put me in touch with the driver by calling, like a neutral number calls me to like put me on the phone with them. And so I get the driver on the phone. I think his name was William. Hey, William, you just dropped off food at our house. Thanks so much. I opened the bag and noticed there was only 1 entree in there. Did they say anything? Because I figured it's not his fault, but I at least, want to try to gauge what happened. And he kind of nicely, it was like a little bit exasperated. He was like, yeah, I mean, it's not, we don't check the bag, but like he proactively then said, but I'll go back and see what they say. And it's not very far from my house. But he went back and before he hung up, I said, okay, great. It was the yada, yada, yada entree, whatever, the one that was missing. So here's the question.
Delicious. Yeah.
In that moment, it was delicious. In that moment, especially with lots of ketchup on it. In that moment, I realized that the tip is editable still. And I think to myself, should I go back in? He's doing something he doesn't probably have to do. Should I go in and bump up the tip?
Yeah.
For him going back to the place.
Or bump it back down because he didn't do his job.
Well, either way. So like it's not his job. He did do his
job. Yeah.
Right. He's not allowed to look in the bag.
And to be fair, I don't know that he didn't do his job.
Right.
He might have walked in and said, hey, is this entree 1 and 2? Yes, cool, thanks. And then just sets it on my doorstep. Now, you could probably look at like the items and probably guess on the bag whether it was enough. But like, again, still not his job. So I went into the tip and edited it up to give him more of a tip because we just got off the phone and I thought, I hope he sees that I changed it up because he proactively offered to go back and check on it. But that's the question. Their whole system is set up to like automate so much of this. The order should have been right. That's on the restaurant. That's not his fault. Right. He had to go back. Well, he didn't have to. He offered to go back when I called him. I don't know what the etiquette is there. I feel like I did the right thing, but I don't know that I did. There might be people who order way more often are like, oh no, you don't do that. You just message customer service and complain to them and then they'll give you a credit, then whatever. I don't know. Any thoughts?
I think that the extra tip is certainly the way to go there. Again, you can afford it and all that. And, there are people who are on a budget and they've budgeted that tip into their meal and everything, and maybe they can't afford it. But if you can, go for it. I would say certainly in that situation. I would say that I've had problems like that before with food delivery, and I've just gone sort of like back through the app channels, or like live chatted with somebody or something. And and handled it that way, including one time where they where it wasn't a credit. They were able to just kind of reorder it and give a big old do-over. And that was because the driver either picked up or at least delivered to me the complete wrong order. Someone else's food was dropped off at my house. And in that instance, I remember this was DoorDash, and on DoorDash, it gives you a phone number you can text or call. I tried to call, I tried to text, and I did not hear back. And so I contacted DoorDash, and DoorDash reordered it for me, and I got it redelivered. So we ate the guy's food and our food. And oddly enough, it was from a place that we had never tried before, and we liked the wrong order far better than our own. So,
is there a situation where you've ever gone in to edit the tip and edited the tip down for any reason?
I didn't even know you could do that.
No, and I think you did the right thing for what it's worth.
No, I want to be clear. I didn't add like another $10 in the tip or something. Like I think the tip was like $5 and I added like $1.
So he's still driving for Uber Eats, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
You didn't pull him out of that.
Not that generous, right?
Okay.
So I mean,
I just heard something for the first time with Uber and tipping. I've heard of riders tipping a significant tip at the beginning of the ride, because now you can tip and they get notified the minute that you enter the tip. So they tip like $10 or $20 at the beginning of the ride and say, I'm not doing the stars, I'm not doing the rating, I'm not doing a post ride tip, I'm tipping you now. And lets the driver know. And then, because the philosophy is like later in the ride, then if he says, hey, can you put the window down, or hey, do you mind turning the AC up a little bit? Or he's like glad to do it now because you've like pre-tipped the experience. I thought that was interesting.
That sounds a little like, so obviously we just moved. We hired movers to move our stuff. There was 3 of them. They did a very good job in the first half at the old house. Except by the end, you could tell they were getting like, it was a super hot day, to be fair. We had lots of bottled water ready for them and stuff. You could tell they were getting really tired. And they were getting being a little more forceful with our things, like upstairs through doors, just up onto the truck. And then you're just a little, you hear them kind of, not throw, but throw something up and it land a little hard. And you're like, ooh, it's not how I would have loaded it, but I also would have taken me a lot longer. So I had been thinking about the tip for the movers and how much and when and all that. That was a thing. And it dawned on me, before we get to the new house, I'm going to take the tip right when we get there, because they just left really frustrated. It was kind of lunchtime. They decided to work through lunch. That was their choice. I asked them. They were going to work through lunch just to get it done. So I'm like, they're going to be tired and hungry, and I don't want my stuff thrown around, especially at the new house with freshly painted walls. So I'm like, I'm going to walk up to them right away and say, hey guys, I'm sure you're probably getting pretty tired. Here's a little extra something to keep you going. And I tipped them right then, before they started moving stuff out of the truck at the new house.
Nice touch.
And I felt like that had to be the perfect moment, because it couldn't have been like I pull out a $2 single dollar bills and hand it over. Like, it was a 20 per guy. So I was like, here's your 20, here's your 20, here's your 20. Hey.
And an ice cold Gatorade.
And I said easily a dozen times at both houses, guys, tons of cold drinks in the fridge. Take a few with you when you leave if you want. Lots of cold water. Grab whatever you want. Nice. So I strategically tried to use the tip there as like a motivation to like, please don't ding up my new house.
Mm-hmm. We just painted this.
We did. We just put a lot of effort painting.
Well, that was fun. I'm glad we once again found a way to get into tipping etiquette, and we have a